All right, y'all. So, I normally don't do this. Good morning to everybody. Um, One of my friends had showed me a thing about somebody talking about me. So I just want y'all to know, man, I don't be talking about people on this internet. I don't go back and forth, do no arguing. People always call me, tell me, yeah, did you hear what Wack said? Wack said this, Wack said that. I just want to get this clear right now. Wack is a professional arguer. He argues. That's what he does for a living. So ain't no way I'm gonna get on the internet and argue with Wack. So he said something about my teeth. He said last year, somewhere, year and a half, he said I was a buster. He can have that. I've only had one real conversation with Wack, and it ended up where he told me how much time he did in prison. But we wasn't talking about that. And how many riots he been in. So I don't ever want to argue back and forth with Wack. So y'all don't call me about that. However, I got a call about pathetic justice. Pathetic. I can't remember, but I think it's Flakko. But I know for Spanish, Flakko is supposed to be a skinny boy. So I don't know what his name is, but um, I want to address some of the things that were said. And, with all due respect, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But from what I seen in that video that he was promoting that the city gives $42 million to gang members. It's extortion and this and that. And it seems to me like, and he was talking about the funeral for the young man from 60s who died. He died of cancer or something like that. He wasn't killed, and they had their funeral at the same church where my son had his funeral. They had the funeral at the same church where later on the Crips came together to meet. That's not extortion when the Crips come together to meet. That's not extortion when the Rolling 60s is on a cul-de-sac in the 20s. That's not extortion, man. What we did is we embraced them. What that is peace. That's something that the police, the judges, the penitentiaries can't do. You bring people in your community and you say, man, you welcome. So I had the older people there, had the younger people there. This is how we stop violence. That's how we stop crime. The violent crimes rather. But pathetic Flakko don't understand that. So, of course, he wants people to go to jail, give the money to other people, and he says if you don't pay them, they're going to shoot up the funeral. That's not the case. When somebody gets the police or the fire trucks called, ain't nobody going to shoot up the ambulance, man. This is just pure nonsense. So I don't do these videos to go back and forth with people, and I don't want to argue with pathetic Flakko or whatever his name is. Pathetic Justice, I'll just call him that. I don't want people to be dead or in jail. The city does not get extorted for money. There are no gang leaders. If anybody knows LA, and obviously he don't, but in LA there is no gang leader. There's not one person who runs a gang and collects money. If that's the case, man, I'm 62 years old this year. I could retire and go to that leader and say, where's my cash? Where's my retirement money? Where's my gold watch? It don't work like that. There's no leader. There's some dudes who steal cars. They don't answer to the dudes who go to the clubs and fight. There's some dudes who go to the clubs and fight. There are other dudes who, whatever they do, they might sell drugs. They might go out of town, sell drugs. They don't have to answer to nobody. So when y'all listen to people who really not from that life, cut from that cloth, you'll get the wrong information. And when you get the wrong information, you start biting on it, then that false reality, that false narrative becomes reality. And it's just not the case. So I'm not here to argue with him. I'm just here to set it straight that the mayor's office pays individuals to hold themselves and the individuals accountable. So when there's a shooting, we can't do nothing about it. So the police go and try to investigate and see who did it, what kind of gun they had. What people like myself do is say, how can we stop the next one? So that's why we follow the family. That's why we're looking for the little brothers, the cousins, the nephews, the uncles, because they're going to be mad and they're going to want to go hurt somebody just based on what they believe, not the facts. So we do rumor control. We shut down the rumors, stuff of that nature, man, and it's worth it. Why shouldn't we be the ones? Police can't stop it. I'm going to tell you right now that just Friday, one of the guys that worked with me caught about 15 young Inglewood Thresses on their way up to Morningside High School. He got them on 102nd. The street is 104th. He was able to get them, and shit, we all went over there, and they just wanted to fade with one person. They said this one dude want to fade. So that's the type of stuff we do where the police wouldn't understand that. So we able to call the dude and say, man, you done created a problem. You created an issue. And it's not going to be today, but eventually you're going to have to fight that one dude to make it so ain't nobody dead or in jail. I don't want them dudes to be dead. I don't want the other dude to be dead. So if y'all don't understand that, that's what intervention is making sure nobody's dead or in jail. So all that, the people, GRYD, ain't no way you could work and not tell and all that, or whatever Flakko said and whatever was said before that, I'm sitting here telling y'all right now, if anybody works with me or works for me and they tell, you can't work for me no more. You just can't do it. So that's it, man. I just wanted to address the dude. I don't know where he's from, so I can't fault him. He might be from somewhere that don't have these type of politics in the community, but it's all about making sure ain't nobody dead or in jail. It has absolutely nothing to do with extorting the city for money or letting people shoot up an ambulance. I don't know where none of that came from. I don't know nothing about it. It looked to me like he did it about 2 weeks ago. He put this up 2 weeks ago, so I'm just now finding out about it. But he's using the things that I said about GRYD, and I was saying those things about GRYD because of what all the negative impact. But let me just say this too. At this moment, right now, I have never received a GRYD contract. At this moment, right now, as I post this today, I have never received GRYD money. Now, will I? Maybe in the next 2-3 months. I don't know. But as of right now, I don't have it. And I'm not backing up the GRYD program because I'm getting paid by it. I'm backing it up because I was there when it started. I was at the table. And when it started, it was already understood that no information on anybody will ever go to the police department. And it was also understood that, you know, there's some bad apples. There's dudes who, I want to say they pee in the water because, you know, they smoking, drinking, they got X pills on them, and they getting arrested. There was one girl who used to start the car with screwdrivers. She told the police she was an intervention worker. She wasn't. She was a car thief. You know, so people have peed in the water and made a bad name, but at the same time, at the same token, this does work because the homicides are down. 1992, 1993, there was over 1,000 homicides in the city of LA. So now, here 2022, 2023, 24, 25, they're down to less than 500 in the whole county of Los Angeles. So not just the city, but the county. So those numbers are low. And it's not because of detective work. It's not because of the new helicopter the police got or the sheriff got. It's not because of any of them things other than these communities are coming together. Just like at Africa's funeral, where the Hoovers were there with the 60s and everybody saying, oh, it got to be the youngsters. Man, all the young Hoovers was there. So everybody who do that Monday quarterbacking, everybody who got something to say about stuff you're not attached to, man, your false narrative creates a reality for other people who in other states, other cities, who don't want to believe the truth. They want to believe what y'all pushing. So I don't even know this dude, the pathetic Flakko dude. I don't know him, but I would just say that he got it wrong. He got it all wrong. And if y'all want the truth, investigate it for yourself. And even though I don't know what the paperwork say, you got to work with law enforcement, that don't mean you go to law enforcement and tell law enforcement that this dude got pistols or this dude is robbing banks, because we don't want nobody in jail. So working with law enforcement is more so for me like, you know, there's going to be a candlelight vigil and y'all been kicking up dust at the candlelight vigils. Let us be there first. Let's talk about it. Let us do the first work. You know, let us do that. Or maybe the football games when Crenshaw played Dorsey, when Locke and Washington play, or Jordan, you know, whatever it is, whatever the schools is, man, that's how we get in front of it. But we don't work with police and help them investigate crimes or give them information. So, and I'm saying we, even though I don't have a GRYD contract, but the whole purpose of intervention is to save lives. So if y'all don't understand that, and saving lives mean they don't go to prison either. So don't listen to people who don't come from the culture. I'm from the culture. I am the culture. I'm with the culture every day. All right, y'all. Skip Townsend. Peace and blessings.